Greetings, you over 911,000 Awakening Wonders. Thank you so much. We are here to discuss briefly Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Let's get that chat going again. We are here to discuss the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. I just finished watching it with my members, and what would have been possibly an average episode, 6 or 7 out of 10. It was based on a comic book, art by Dave Gibbons. It's from the 4th Doctor days. Haven't read it in years, so forgive me if I don't remember. And it was jam-packed with the message. Jam-packed with the message, so much so that the BBC criticized their own work on their own website. And I have to completely agree with the assessment. Now, the lead up to this 60th anniversary, let's just say it wasn't as good as the 50th. Okay, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. It hasn't been as good as the 50th. We are coming off the worst era of Doctor Who ever. The ratings were arguably the lowest ever. We don't know for sure because the iPlayer counts a view as somebody who watched something for a minute. So we don't know how many people actually on those extended ratings, those 7-day out ratings on the iPlayer, how many people actually watched the entire episode. But we know the era of the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who's probably going to be the last female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker or anybody else, was a disaster, an absolute disaster, an utter disaster. It started out so promising. 10 million people watched it live, but apparently that was just the curiosity factor. And it cratered after that and continued inexplicably for years. Failure after failure, ratings drop after ratings drop, audience scores cratering, the worst the show has ever experienced, so bad that it brought down the entire series, which was hovering in the 80s, 90s as being, especially in Rotten Tomatoes. And overall, it brought everything down, including a very brief time at 0%. 0%. So, flux happens. By the way, did the universe ever get put back? I mean, I'm one of the few people who watched Flux, and the universe was decimated, and I don't recall them putting it back. It's like Tiamat sitting in the middle of the ocean for the MCU. They just kind of forgot about it. Either way, Chris Chibnall's era was terrible. There was not a single memorable episode, except for the bad ones. Arachnids in the UK, the Trump episode. That's one that stands out. Remember when the very white, Karen-looking Jodie Whittaker assisted Rosa Parks on the bus? That is that is the arrogance of the Londoner elite. To think you can make a story like that about American history and have your Karen-looking white girl woke biatch assisting Rosa Parks. That is, that really is a mask-off moment. I remember getting criticism for pointing out, I'm like, wow, they really wanted to have a white woman telling Rosa Parks what to do, assisting her. That's some fucking arrogance. And they are all like, oh my God, we're so good. I just unplugged myself. Hang on. They're all, we are so progressive. Oh my God. We're so, look at us. Look at how good we are. Look at how good we are. Sure, I'm currently at a cocktail party that had, that it was a $500,000 ticket to support some politician. And there's some caviar where you could buy a country and a few children with, probably have, considering the elite. But we're so good. We're so good because we wrote a story about Rosa Parks. We did. Oh my God. And we made the Doctor a woman, and it destroyed the show. So much so, ratings cratered, audience gone. It's not even a split audience. I mean, that's not even a question. The people still talking about Doctor Who, bless their heart, there are some that are just hardcore fans that don't want to let it go. Not gonna criticize you. And then there's some who love the confirmation bias to the new show and just want to own, what's the British version of saying chud? I don't care. I don't really care. And it's been over a year. God, it feels like 10. It's been over a year since the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's last episode. And here we are And by the way, that was after a previous year break. And here we are. They said the show was almost canceled. I was told by the same people who told me many years ago that they were going to retcon the origin for the Doctor because they knew that people would just forget about the first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. So they had to do something to cement her in the franchise. And that included the timeless children. And that pissed everybody off. So it was canceled. They begged RTD to come back. He was given massive creative control. And now we know why he came back. Now we know why. And worst nightmare of them all, Disney is in control, baby. You think you're in control, BBC? No, this isn't about bringing back fans. This is about making new fans and making Doctor Who an international sensation, which it was, but no longer will be. No longer will. You're probably going to see a lot of people squeeing about this episode because David Tennant's back, and that's great. He was used purely as nostalgia bait. So was Catherine Tate for an entire episode that was a transmission allegory. I kid you not. The entire episode. They took a comic book story and made it a transmission allegory for your 60th anniversary special. Instead of just like, hey, fans, here's a Doctor Who story. Everybody's welcome. They made it loud and clear that they will be continuing their slavish adherence to the message. Disney and BBC. Leopard can't change its spots. Just going to say that. It's pretty incredible. But hashtag RIP Doctor Who. And again, the marketing lead up was fucking terrible. Like, look at the 50th was awesome. The build up to the 50th. So many people were excited. David Tennant meeting Matt Smith. The War Doctor, like, you know, even Christopher Eccleston being in it would have been rad, but it worked out okay. But here's I'm going to read a little bit from the BBC. Neil Armstrong, not the astronaut. Neil Armstrong from the BBC. Talking about the show. Couldn't give any specifics. Now I know why. A lot of it was exposition to get you caught up, which is fine. You know, maybe a lot of people aren't going to know about the Dr. Donna, which was absolutely wasted. A great storyline, wasted. Completely undoes the weight of the Dr. Donna, the tragedy of the Dr. Donna. This is why you can't go home again. You can't go home again. But if you're indifferent to Who, this won't be the episode to convert you. And if you're altogether new to Who, you'll probably wonder what all the fuss has been about. And although the show has always been progressive, look at the number of stories over the decades about, for example, threats to the environment. I don't know, is the environment... A certain type of environmentalism is very progressive, but like you're saying that the other side, the other parties don't care about the planet. That's some fucking horse shit. They were morality tales. Okay. It's not like one side out there. Well, not a significant one. Well, actually there is a significant side out there that is pro-genocide. But just not the one you think. This special is preachy. And by the end, little more than a delivery system for the message. And that is the perfect assessment of this episode that without the message would have been 6 or 7 out of 10. 6 or 7 out of 10. Inoffensive. Music was good. Special effects were fine. All this extra money. You can see like some of the sets were pretty good, but they checked every possible box in the first 5 minutes of the episode. And then, I bring this up only to tell you YouTube's attitude towards it. Not that I care. Okay. That what happens to my videos happens to my videos. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So everything Doctor Who we've talked about has been demonetized on YouTube. Just want to point it out there. It's never happened. It's never happened. I can't imagine what the problem could be. Oh, I know. It's manual and automatic transmissions. And Donna has a daughter named Rose. Now, is it presented as she always had a daughter and then this actor is just playing a daughter? No, it's a doctor. It's a child who transitioned. A child who transitioned. And that's not all. That child who transitioned corrected the doctor for misgendering the meep. The meep. Because the doctor assumed its gender. Yeah. Donna Noble's husband, his last name was Temple. Donna Noble did not take his last name. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But the child didn't take his last name either. Yeah, there's that. I'm scratching the surface. I am scratching the entire surface. Do you guys, before I get into spoilers. So there's this episode, again, based on a comic book. There's a crash landing and escape pod. There's two alien races. There's the Meep, this cute little furry thing. And I'm blanking on the name of the other race right now. In pursuit. And some unit soldiers get their minds taken over by, we assume, the other aliens that I'm forgetting the name of, which is fine. Turns out that's not the case. Turns out the Meep is evil. Sorry, there's a spoiler right there. The Meep is evil. But that's immaterial. That's the stuff from the comic, and that's the stuff that's fine. David Tennant's acting, fine. Totally fine. He's, it's like riding a bicycle with him. He is the 14th Doctor, but it's very much like the 10th Doctor. I didn't see a ton of difference. I know some people said they saw the difference in some of their reviews. I didn't see any. Catherine Tate is great as Donna Noble. She's Donna Noble. So it's the Doctor and Donna back together again as nostalgia bait to lure you into an entire episode that's a transmission allegory. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. Other than, holy shit, they quadrupled down in one episode. So, Doctor Who's dead. It's dead. I'm like, we'll see if I continue. I probably will through the specials, but into Shudigatwa, I'm not going to care at that point. I don't think I'm going to give a shit. And we'll see if this big Whoniverse that they're planning happens. You know what? On the surface, I'm totally down with an 8th Doctor series. But if it's going to be an 8th Doctor series, that's going to be, 3 or 4 episodes. One's an environmentalism allegory. One will be probably a pro-communism allegory. We'll probably get another transmission allegory, and we'll get capitalism is evil. Boy, that's fun. That's frickin' fun. Sorry, the chat wasn't moving. I got on one screen. That's my bad. We have $100 super chat. Holy crap. 100 British pounds from Rosa Parks, MLK Jr. I hate to break it to you. They were communists and being played by white guys in Moscow who couldn't give a ruble. All your bases are theirs. See Lotus Eaters, ask Carl. I know about that. I'm not defending, or I wasn't even alive. But thank you for the 100 British pounds. That's proper money. I'm talking about the episode. And I'm talking about the hubris of white English men thinking they could give us some serious political commentary on the black experience in America. Okay, whether you, I don't care who I wouldn't be surprised. There was a lot of commies back then, and I'm not a fan of communism, but shut the hell up on that. It's the arrogance of the left and the progressive. And it's the bigotry of low expectations. Like all these marginalized people, they don't know how to use computers. They can't use apps. They can't vote. Like that's the attitude I have a special problem with. As far as communism in the 60s, yeah, it was all through the hippies. Every counter-revolutionary, yep, it was all there. Hollywood, still there. With this episode, Doctor Who went from objectionable to going to have their own segment on Daily Wire shows tomorrow. Yeah, dude. A bunch of people who know little about the show. Strange they bet on Donna. I assumed she will be canceled soon. Catherine Tate, the interpreter sketch. Well, maybe she did this to get away from that, Jodie's morality was messed up. I'm going to let the giant spider die from suffocation because guns are bad. I know. I remember that could have been oh, dude. It's no different. Somebody said in the chat earlier that this is as woke as Chibnall, and it absolutely is. So, spoiler time real quick, because again, I'm limited on time. And it's just me rambling. I'm going to do a video right after this because I am traveling. So that's, otherwise I would invite people and we'd have a big old discussion. And we still might do that if I have time when I get back. So we'll just get to the point here. Spoiler time. The end of the episode. I'm blanking on the race again. Sorry. It was after the Meep. The Meep is evil. And that could have been really funny if done right. It could have been really good, but it was just there to be a vehicle for the message, because it turns out that the Dr. Donna, by the way, Donna, they did explain why her family was given the lottery ticket and then gave away all the money. Donna gave away all the money because the Dr. Donna was in her subconscious and she was trying to be like the doctor. So the doctor eventually makes Donna remember, knowing it's going to kill her. And Donna's okay with it because she wants to save her child, who's everything to her. Understand that. And the first thing she remembers, and this is like the one time, like I chuckled at a couple things, but I genuinely like this. When Donna remembers everything, the first thing she remembers is giving away all the money, and she's fucking pissed. She's like, I gave away all the fucking money. And she blames the doctor because the Dr. Donna was in the subconscious. They needed the Dr. Donna to save London because if the Meep was going to take off with their ship, it was going to draw energy from London and wipe out 5 square blocks. Where the downside of that is, not really sure, but we'll move ahead. So the Dr. Donna comes back, but we also and the Dr. Donna sacrifices herself and stops the Meep ship and dies for like a second, and then is brought back to life by her child, Rose. Who the Dr. Donna, the meta crisis, passed on to the child, and the child was able to resurrect Donna and fix everything because she's man and woman, the binary man and woman in one being. Somehow Donna returned. And that's where it ended. You get to see the inside of the TARDIS. It looks really good. It looks great. And all I'm thinking is that Catherine Tate, David Tennant are wasted on this because I hated it. And what made it even worse is like in Jodie's episodes, there was nothing to take away. Maybe Graham, but there was nothing good to take away. And it's like, I hated this more because there could have been a good show. It couldn't get out of its own way, and they don't give a fuck. This is RTD. I'm not saying you can't have these beliefs. I'm not saying you can't identify as a trans person. I'm just saying, in the first special, you're trying to get all these fans back and bring new fans in. You know what? The best way to get through to people is tell good stories. That's the best way. This is not a good story. It's preachy. It's the message. It totally derailed the entire show. And it's a waste of Bring him back. It's a waste of the Dr. Donna. It completely undoes that. And if you want to just go story-wise, that's its biggest crime. Its biggest crime was basically getting rid of the Dr. Donna and the tragedy and the weight of that great story from beginning so you can push an allegory. That is quintessential woke intersectional storytelling. By the way, intersectionality, all based on Marxism. Marxism is a plague. Marxism is a parasite. Marxism is a cancer, and it ruins everything, including storytelling. And yeah, it's a damn shame. And RTD's, you know, we'll see what the other 2 episodes are. We'll see what they are. But yeah, I'll get into full details. We'll break down the episode, the ins and outs. I have to watch it again. By the way, when I'm done with this, it'll be unlisted. You can continue watching it, or it will be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live in a little bit. Hi, Gary. Added a while. What a disappointment after the fantastic work they did with colorizing the classic first Doctor Who Dalek episode. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. Really, really cool. But they made a bunch of mistakes. They released clips from this showing that it was absolutely pushing the message. The Davros thing. Somehow Davros being half Dalek and on life support is now coded as a wheelchair user. So we can't have handicapped or capable or ableism or whatever we're calling it now. People, they can't be bad guys anymore, which isn't true representation, by the way. Real representation and inclusion is everybody being able to play anything, but not anymore. So Russell T. Davies decided to go back completely on what he said 10 years ago by saying, hey, why change something when it's great? And completely changes something because it's 2023 and you all have to live by my ideals because my ideals are better than yours because I write pretend. And you know what? There was a time he was really good. The writing for this episode was average. Very average. I'll say it again. It reminded me of a season 10 Capaldi episode, which is, man, Capaldi's good, but damn, these stories suck. These stories suck. So that's what it reminded me of. Thank you for the $4.99 randomize. I appreciate it. We got, how's it going? I think just as Robin Hood, the next will be with William Wallace, a Scottish transgender that decides going against police just because they have his boyfriend was killed. Hi from Brazil. Hail Brazil, by the way. Say hi to Dan Vasque while he's running from gangs of children. Let's see. And I read that one. Thank you. I'll get the rest of these on a square up. It's time for me to go. I appreciate you all being here. I am very sorry to report Doctor Who's still dead. Still very, very dead. And it sucks because I like Murray Gold. Very good. I think he's one of the best conductors, television music conductors or composers out there. I think RTD's New Who run from season 1 to 4 is some of the best television ever written. And it was based, he was inspired by Buffy. I love David Tennant, Catherine Tate. I think the actors tried to put in their best. It wasn't like the horrible acting we saw from the Jodie era. It's just an episode that couldn't get out its own way. What a shame. Oh, well, yeah, it never really had a chance. But whatever chance it did have, it just blew it. Oh, it's going to be super popular on Twitter. We'll see how many people actually show up to watch it because it's on Disney Plus. Oof, how disgusting is that? Doctor Who fans, I'm sorry. You do have 50 damn good years of entertainment out there that you can enjoy. And I say you do that, but I'm going to be discussing this in detail at the LA Comic-Con at our Death of the Modern Franchise panel, which will be next weekend. I will be discussing this in detail in a video and in future live streams. So again, thank you for joining me. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks for everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. This will be re-uploaded on Nerdrotic Live shortly. And I will see you later. Ciao.